So as we transition from summer into autumn, we move from Pitta season, which is the hot, fiery, also a little bit of water element, into Vata season, which is about air and space and can be quite windy and a lot of movement. And we notice that in the weather with autumn, sort of wind and that kind of energy around us. It can feel a bit hectic. Whenever we have a change, a shift in season, we can start to feel a little bit uneasy with those changes. So we need to find a way of yielding the energy within with the energy around us. So with all the new Vata energy flying around us, it's time to slow down so that we don't get swept away, and that we can start to draw inwards a little bit and find a balance, cooling off that Pitta energy and finding ease of movement without getting too carried away. So this sequence is nice and slow. It's about grounding, rooting down, cooling off and finding balance and stability. We'll start by closing your eyes, find a comfortable seat. Start to breathe in and out through your nose. Focusing a little bit more on the exhale. So the downward energy of the exhale starts to ground you, sit bones into the mat, relaxing muscles around the hips so the knees can move downwards. You still feel that lift up, still got a little bit of that Pitta energy in your centre, that heat in your centre. Got some oomph still. Cooling energy downwards, shoulders down. You can have a little bit of movement here. If you feel a bit fidgety, that's okay. Use this time at the beginning of your practice just to settle, get rid of any excess energy. So inhale, breathing in new fresh energy into the body. Exhale, getting rid of anything from last season you don't want to take with you, moving into the new season. Opening your eyes, breathing in, rooting up. Exhale down, chin to chest. We'll just do this a couple more times. Breathing in. Breathing out. And last one, breathing in. And breathing out. Coming into easy twist. Bringing one hand across your knee, other hand behind you, wrapping around that centre line. You don't have to force it too much, arms are just there to support. Finding a little bit of massage through your back, through your centre, and coming around to the other side. And back to centre. Come onto your hands and knees. We'll take a few rounds of cat-cow. Hands under shoulders, knees under hips. As you inhale, tailbone, chest bone, reaching up, belly down towards the floor. Exhale, rounding, squeezing the belly in as you push the air out and drawing chin to chest. Inhale for cow pose. Exhale for cat pose. Inhale for cow. And exhale for cat. Coming back to a neutral position and take your hands slightly wider than your shoulders and stepping the knees back a little bit so that we're now in a half plank, having to use your abdominals to support you. Retract the shoulders and keep the back and neck nice and long. We'll start to flow with the breath. Exhale, down towards the floor, maintaining that length through the spine, the elbows going back, shoulders away from the ears, so we're building a little bit of strength. Don't rush these half chaturangas. Inhale for Bhujangasana, chest bone coming forward, elbows back, shoulders back and down, pressing the lower body into the mat. Exhale, devotional, pushing the hips back towards your feet, stretching along your back as you bow down towards the earth. Inhale back into that half plank. Exhale slowly down. So remember, we're slowing down. You might have temptation to rush these little flows. When we slow down, we can be a little more mindful. Inhale for cobra. Exhale back into devotional. So it's a chance to really listen into your body. Let your breath guide you. Not rushing around all the time. Inhaling for cobra. Exhaling back into devotional. And to do a couple more times. Controlling with your breath. One more time, inhale for that half plank, exhale for your half chaturanga, keeping space in the neck and shoulders, inhaling for cobra, engaging into your back, exhaling, stretching into devotional, bowing to the earth. This time, you should come back into tabletop, tuck the toes, lift the hips up. To Adho Mukha Svanasana, downward dog. Well, it will walk of the dog. Wake up the feet, toes, a little twist as well. Shaking off some of that excess pitta energy. And tapping into the new moving Vata energy. Walking your feet to your hands. Slowly rolling up to standing. We'll take a couple of slow rounds of sun salutation. We're going to add a little twist in there as well. And keep your feet hip width apart so you feel really grounded. As you breathe in, lengthen through the sides of the body up towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold from the hips. You can soften through the back of the knees, bring the hands down, then a little bit more stretch into your back. Stepping your left foot back, lower the knee to the floor. Keep your left hand on the floor, reaching the right arm up. Just put a sneaky little twisty dragon in here. And releasing the hand down. Stepping back either into a half or full plank. Exhale, lower without rushing. So if full plank is too much, you're losing control through the shoulders, and take that half plank. Inhale, Bhujangasana or upward dog if you feel ready to come into that upward dog. And exhale into downward facing dog. The right leg and the left leg a little bit closer. The slightly shorter downward dog. Feel a little bit more stretch now, down through the back of the legs. And lifting the left leg up towards the sky. Sweep it forward between the hands. Lower the right knee, keep the right hand on the floor, and lift the left arm up, opening the heart to the sky. Releasing back down, stepping to the top of your mat. Into Uttanasana, so you can have a bent or straight leg. See, depending how your back is feeling, you pull the belly in, send the sit bones up, and you ground down through your feet. Rolling up today, we can stack the spine, one vertebrae at a time, all the way to standing. We'll just do one more round like that. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, folding forwards. Stepping your left leg back, lowering the knee and opening into that twisty dragon. Releasing the hand down, stepping back into half or full plank. Exhale, half or full chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Taking that slightly shorter position. Quads lifting, belly pulling in, shoulders rolling away from your ears. Lift the right leg up towards the sky, sweeping it forward between the hands. Lower the left knee, reaching right arm up into twisty dragon. And releasing. Hands to the top of the mat, into your forward fold. Relax the neck. And start to roll up the spine. Grounding down through your feet. Pouring the weight into your right foot. And turn the left hip out for Vrikshasana. So we're going to come into our tree pose. We keep the hip bones pointing towards the short end. Switching on as you rotate that left hip out. Maybe bringing the foot to the lower leg or helping foot up to the upper leg. And just be mindful not sticking your bottom out behind you. So you draw the tailbone down to the floor and get that rotation from the hip. Nice and centered, fixing the eyes onto a still point for balance. So using that drishti to balance, grounding down through your right foot without squeezing, gripping with your toes. You feel the foot spreading like you're sending the roots of your tree down into the earth. And still, with this windy Vata energy around us, there might be some movement still, and that's okay. So long as you feel strong and stable in your base. You can always hold on to something if you're feeling really hectic. If you've got a lot going on in your head, you might feel a little off balance here, but this is the time to practice our balance poses. Move from tree into flying bird. The birds flying off for winter. So we'll spread the arms out, keep the arms bent, open the chest. Coming into chest open. The Vata energy is all about the lung meridian, so opening up that chest area. You can extend a little from belly button to ribcage to your solar plexus. The heat from pitta from the summer is still there, and stretch and release some of that as well. Just squeeze shoulder blades together. You'll start to take your left leg behind you. It's still turned out, so the knees out to the side, firing up into your glute. The standing leg bends. And we'll keep focus straight ahead. So you've got a little back bend position here as well. If you want to still got a bit of heat from the pitta season, you want to fire up a little bit of a bend and stretch that standing leg. We'll challenge yourself to see how stable you are. Otherwise, just holding in your flying bird. One more breath. And carefully placing left foot down and opening into your warrior two position. The right heel in line with the left arch, gazing over your right fingertips. But still opening the hips out, both hips out now. The knees spiral to little toes. Tuck down with the sit bones towards the heels, wrapping the thighs back, strong through your centre. And each time you exhale, pushing down into the floor. So inhale, breathing and expanding across the heart space, expanding from the collarbones to the fingertips. And as you exhale from the waist down, pushing down into the floor, that grounding energy for your strong warrior. Flipping the palm on the front arm, back arm releases to the back leg. Inhale, lifting up, reverse warrior. And exhale, windmill the hands down to the floor. Release the back knee to the floor, move your right ankle across for pigeon pose. Sliding the back leg away. And if possible, I'm going to get this front shin as parallel as you can with the top of your mat. You can then let the hip come to the floor. So that normally we're trying to square the hips. we're going to do a little twisty version. So the sit bone can come down to the floor, and you can either keep this back leg extended or you can bend it or bring it all the way in. See how your lower back's feeling. So if it's not comfortable, if it's pinching a little bit in the back, maybe bring that leg further in. Flexing at the ankle, so we keep knee and hip, ankle all aligned. Reaching your right elbow across. Some of you will be able to bring the elbow into the sole of the foot and the palms together, pulling chin in towards the throat and twisting heart up towards the sky. If you can't quite reach the foot, you can have it further towards you, or maybe if you've got a brick or block or blanket or something that you want to bring it onto, if you can't quite get down onto the floor. So stretching and lengthening through that right side. It's almost like banana sort of pose as you wrap across through that right side. It's quite intense on the hip. So use that slow, steady breath. Try and stay in the pose. Sometimes we get a bit fidgety in this one. So find where you can maintain steady breath and stillness. And carefully releasing from your twist, hands to the floor. Step back into downward facing dog. Again, you might want to have a little walk with the dog, shaking out legs. And a few breaths of stillness. Maybe even coming down the devotional for that stillness, a little bit closer to the earth. Grounding. Taking time to check in with what's going on before come on to the other side. If you have come down into devotional, move back into downward facing dog, walking feet to hands or hands to feet, and slowly rolling up to standing. And then come on to the other side, grounding through your feet, fix your drishti onto a still point, connect with your core and slow down your breath. Pour the weight into your left leg and rotate your right leg out for Vrikshasana tree pose. Remember, you can take the foot up. I'll show you from the front. You can take foot to shin or help it up here. Just making sure that the hip bones are still pointing forward, so you haven't swung around to the side trying to get that knee out. In fact, we rotate out through the hip by drawing the sit bone down to the floor and the inner thigh facing up towards the sky. So you're going to stay here in your tree pose. You can take the arms up or branches out, or keep the hands into heart, pushing foot into leg and leg into foot to avoid this collapsing. Also helps balance and grounding to draw that energy, strong trunk like our trees, as well as that rooting down through the foot. And maybe a little bit of movement through the upper body, and that's fine. Stay where you are, with a couple more breaths. And we start to expand the chest into prepping for our flying bird, squeezing shoulder blades together, opening the chest, and keeping the turn out on that right leg as you send the leg behind you, bending standing leg, bottom working hard on that right side. If you did on the other side, you can take those more bend and stretches of your standing leg. We never fully straighten the standing leg, it's just bending and lengthening. You feel the hamstring warming, also creating strength, stability through your ankle, and having to keep focus. When you add movement to the pose, yet trying to maintain the position, you have to really focus. Make sure you haven't held your breath, you're still breathing. And then stepping carefully back into your warrior two, so that you don't land with a big thump. Maybe we'll need to adjust your feet once you get there, so the front heel in line with the back arch. your sit bones moving down to your heels, so you feel this broadening, opening through your pelvis and tailbone down towards the floor. Gazing over your middle finger on that left hand. Slow, steady breath, strong warriors, pushing down on the exhale through both feet, even weight through your feet. Flip the palm on the front arm, back arm down to back leg, lifting up into reverse warrior. And windmill the hands down to the floor. Lower the right knee, move the left ankle across the pigeon. Coming into our twisty version. So you get the front foot leg as parallel as you can with the top of your mat, allowing that left sit bone to come to the floor. So we are opening the hips out to the side, to the long end, adjusting that back leg if you need to, depending how your back's feeling. Your left elbow towards the sole of the foot if it reaches, or taking those other options. Careful not to tuck the chin in too much or overextend the neck. So draw the chin towards the throat, push the back of the head back as you rotate, chest towards the sky. Slow, steady breath. Stay calm. Releasing from the twist, stepping back into your downward facing dog, a little walk, a little shake of the legs, lowering the knees down into devotional. Slow the breath down. Each exhale, you get a little closer to the earth. Slowly coming up to a seated position. We're going to finish with legs up. So if you've got a wall space near you, move yourself to the wall, simply coming onto your back and taking your legs up the wall. If you've got a blanket, cushion or bolster, you can bring that underneath your pelvis for a little bit of elevation. If you've got lots of space, like I've got, you can take dragonfly position or keep the legs up. If you don't have a wall space, maybe you have a chair or a sofa that you could lie on the floor, rest your legs onto the chair or sofa, coffee table, whatever you've got. If you don't have anything like that around you, simply taking the legs up towards the sky. This legs up position draws energy down into root chakra, that grounding energy. So when everything else is flying around you, that Vata energy will start to slow down and relax. Also helps to calm the nervous system. Too much Vata energy, if you're a Vata type yourself, and then you move into autumn, into that Vata energy, you can have an excess of that, and that can create some anxiety. You don't want to feel that fear or imbalance. So if you're taking this legs up at the wall or with a support, you can stay there for as long as you like. If you were freestyling it there, you're probably going to want to come down into your Shavasana and take your relaxation here. So I'm going to come up, but you can stay either in your legs up the wall or your Shavasana for as long as you like, and focus on your breath, extending the exhale, so each exhale a little bit longer, taking you deeper to the earth, and taking that time out to balance, time for yourself to slow down, have to be rushing around all of the time. So staying in your relaxation for as long as you would like. Namaste.